Well, hello and welcome back to the channel. So I thought I would combine two things. We're going to talk about Thailand, moving here after 3.5 years. Was it worth it to move here to Thailand? And show you what it's like driving around here. It's such a beautiful day. I just couldn't let this one go because it's just about perfect. So anyway, 3.5 years ago, my wife and I were living in South Carolina. I was doing professional photos and video during the week. I would do the photos and video for realtors, showing their houses. And on the weekend, I would do professional photos of weddings. Kendall was a medical data analyst. Sounds like the most boring job ever, but she loved it. And everything was good. But we wanted to come here to Thailand, and we sold everything and moved. So the reason I'm telling you that, first of all, is it's not like our lives were terrible and we just wanted something new, a fresh start. Not at all. Our lives were good before we came over here. And there was some things our church was doing over here that we were going to help with, and we still do. And that is why we moved over here. So now that it's been 3.5 years and things are actually going really well, the question is, would we do it all again? Was it worth it? And so to say. Now, when you first get over here, it's not going to feel like it's worth it. And by the way, it is not worth it for everybody, that's for sure. We've seen a lot of people come and go. But when you first get over here, you're going to have all these obstacles you're going to need to get adjusted to. Everything from the language, dealing with any visa issues that may come up. There's all the weather, the weird weather, the smoky season, the rainy season, continuous hot weather. And of course, if you're coming from a Western country, everything is different here in Thailand than it is where you're from. So nothing's, the whole thought process here is a little bit different than what you'll be used to. So there's a lot of things to get used to. But anyway, when Kendall and I got here 3.5 years ago, it was during COVID. Everything was shut down. It was kind of a miserable time to be here. The big plus side is that everything that cost a lot of money, expensive hotels and places, they were dirt cheap because there were no foreigners here. There were no tourists. And the other thing that was great is the traffic, because there was barely any traffic. So it did take us some time to get used to things over here, probably a little bit longer than it would take now that all that mess is in the past. But anyway, we did get used to it. We did learn how things worked, how our daily life was going to work here, because, you know, again, everything's different. You don't know where to go for this, where to buy this, where to go grocery shopping, how to read the Thai script on all the, let's say, the laundry detergent and things like that. So those are all things that we slowly had to get used to here. But once all that is done, you get to really start enjoying it. And I'm going to tell you, it's going to take at least 6 months to get to that point. You may have regrets for moving, thinking, what did I do? I left my family. They're all back home. What am I going to do now? So those thoughts will constantly go through your mind. Like, as soon as we came over here, a year later, had a grandchild. So, you know, now we're away from that child. So it's just things like that that make you wonder if you made the right decision or not. You don't have any friends here yet. The list goes on. But I can assure you, as long as you're willing to put some effort into it, you can find new friends. If you want to just stay in your condo and not really be sociable, things aren't going to really change for you. And any bad habits you had at your old life, at your original country, try not to bring that same attitude or those same bad things over here with you. It's not going to really, you know, make you change, that's for sure. So if you're looking for a fresh start, I would definitely say that coming over here, since it does change so many things in your life, that it might be a good choice for you. But it, again, is all going to depend on you. Now, would we do this all again? Absolutely. It was definitely worth it for us. Yes, we did have a lot of hard times, but we grew past it. We know how to get through things like that. I mean, even when we got to this country, we had to quarantine I think it was like 16 days. You could go back to our first video and watch it. But yeah, we were here for like 16 days. We couldn't even leave our hotel room, not even to go in the hallway, nothing. So it was really miserable. But anyway, I say all this to let you know that we would do it all again. For us, it was worth it. We've seen, my wife and I have seen many expats come and go back, and meaning they came here, are all fired up, and it just wasn't for them, and they left. But the reasons are all the way across the board. Anything from they couldn't stand the heat, the temperature, and other ones they were missing family and friends. But the number one was they were under the age of 50. They were not on a retirement visa, and they were having a hard time staying here for a long duration, because there's not many visa options for, let's just say, your ordinary person under the age of 50 that doesn't have a ton of money, where they can buy some elite visa or anything like that, or have some job skill that's really used here in Thailand. So all those things being said, you will see people come and go. Now, if you're debating on whether Thailand is right for you, I mean, obviously, that's a personal preference. Hopefully, you've been to Thailand before. Thailand is a great place to go. There's a lot of positive things to talk about here. There's very few cons and a lot of pros to moving here. One, and most people, I think, find Thailand on their radar because they're looking up cost of living, somewhere that looks fun and exciting and has a low cost of living, and Thailand usually shows up on that list. And it is cheap. Things are cheap over here. One of the bad things I would say about coming over here is when you do go back to visit your home country, you're pretty much appalled with the prices of everything back home. Now, I'm from the USA, so I'm appalled with the prices when we go back to the USA and visit. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. In Thailand, I could get this for a lot less. Or like the healthcare system back in the US, it's so much easier over here, and the quality's pretty fantastic. So there's a lot of things that you're gonna get spoiled to here in Thailand, so just be prepared for that. Watch me get through this. These are one of the benefits, again, of living in the US, and that is, try doing this in the US. You'll be pulled over by an undercover cop sure as you try it. But you can do this here in Thailand and get to the front, which is why I like to ride motorcycles. So this, again, if I were to move back to the USA, I would really miss the motorcycle culture here as well. Simply because now I'm all used to dodging traffic in and out, going through all this stuff, which I find fun. On a side note, again, if you are planning on moving here to Thailand and you want some help, you don't know how to get started on how to end your life, meaning, that would maybe be a bad terminology, how to end your, life in your old country to start a new life here in Thailand, we do have a step-by-step guide. If you go to Buy Me a Coffee in the link down below, and then click on the Buy Me a Coffee, and then you'll see a link for extras, and it's going to be in there. And that has all the information we wish we would have had. So Kendall and I are very glad that we made the decision to move here to Thailand. And I discussed it with her. We discussed, would we do this all again? And we totally said yes. We would absolutely do it all again. And, at first our family wasn't too thrilled about us moving way over here, and none of my family has ever been to Thailand before, except Kendall and myself. But when my children, two out of the three, were able to come here, and they fell in love with Thailand just as I did, and it made more sense to them. So if you do have some relatives that don't understand why you're going to be moving to Thailand, I'm going to guess they've never been here before. So maybe one thing you could do is go on a trip with your family over here and let them see it for themselves. I haven't met too many people that didn't enjoy Thailand. Now, that being said, a lot of people enjoy Thailand, but living here is a totally another thing. And that I will tell you, if you are planning on moving over here. Living here is different from being on vacation here. Being on vacation here, you're usually staying right where all the tourists are, and you're doing tourist things and partying and having a great time on the beach or wherever you're at in Thailand. And yes, you can continue to do those things, but after a while, I hate to say it, you get used to things and it just doesn't have that same spark that it has. So that's not a problem. You just start living your normal daily life here and you're going to enjoy it. You're just not going to do those tourist things as much. As a matter of fact, the tourists will kind of get on your nerves after a while, especially if you're living right in the midst of them. One of the things that happens when you start living in a foreign country for a while, at least it does for us, is that you quit watching the news for your home country, or you watch it every once in a blue moon when you see something maybe on social media that something happened in your home country. But you start really only caring about the country that you're in and less about the country that you left from, which is exactly what happened to us. I can't tell you about anything that's currently going on in the United States unless it's something mind-blowing that you hear all along, social media. So you'll find out if you're somebody who likes watching the news, let's say from the US, and it's making you crazy and you get kind of angry every time you're watching the news. First of all, I'd say stop watching the news. But when you come over here to Thailand, it's a lot easier to ignore all those things and to basically concentrate with what's right in front of you. I know I keep changing topics here a little bit, but I gotta say some more about this weather. So this is the rainy time of year, and this is a time when a lot of tourists do not come to Thailand because they see that it's the rainy season. Well, that just means it rains. Don't be afraid of the rainy season. I've done videos on this many times. Look how beautiful it is. This is what you get in the rainy season. You get a little bit of rain. Some days you get a lot. Some days you get no rain at all. But everything is just beautiful. And the sky has all this drama, and the blue in the sky is just amazing. And the nice thing about this cloud cover is that it cools things down. It's my favorite time of year. Love it when it rains. I'm not a big fan of the dry weather that we get. However, most of that, the temperatures are really low, like in November, December, January. And then you get the smoky season starting to roll in. And then it comes back to the rainy season again. But the rainy season is awesome. Let this not be a time that you avoid Thailand. So I do hope videos like this help you when you're deciding whether you want to move to Thailand for a long time. I think you're probably doing the right thing, but I would suggest that, you have been here before. And again, with the step-by-step guide that we have, it talks about everything from trying to decide what part of the country do you want to live in, because that's a big question. My suggestion, one of the things I would say, is try out 3 of your top picks. Stay in an Airbnb maybe for a month at each of those places and see if you like it. Maybe if you're deciding, let's say, between Phuket for the beach, or you're thinking about going to Bangkok for the city, or Chiang Mai for the slower pace and the cheaper prices, maybe try a month at each one of those places, because they're completely different from each other. And within a month, I would say you would definitely know which one you like the best. Then when you figure out what city that you do like, I would still suggest that you find or you research the areas within that city that you're thinking about moving to, and stay somewhere, again, temporarily for, let's say, a month, while you take your time and look around at all the different areas till you figure out, okay, I'm going to move, well, let's just say Chiang Mai, and you figure out what areas you're normally going to go to. Obviously, you're wanting to move closest to those things. Or let's say you want to live in the heart of everything where all the tourism is, or you want to live out in the middle of nowhere where nobody's going to bother you. You're going to have plenty of time to scope out these areas. a lot of people have been sending me messages. Tony, what about the taxes, or what about the tax thing I'm reading about? And I've already done some videos on this subject where we talked about the taxes, so I'll hit it one more time for anybody who hasn't read it yet. You know, a lot of the YouTubers want to have clickbait to where they scare you half to death, where you want to click on the video and scare you about all the bad things about this tax thing. But the bottom line is, and do the research for yourself, don't even listen to me. How's that? The main thing is there is a tax agreement between many countries, many of the Western countries, and Thailand. So you need to first check to see if your country has a tax treaty with Thailand. And what a tax treaty is that's an agreement. I'm going to use the United States for an example. It was in the 1990s that they signed this tax treaty, and that's saying that if a U.S. resident lives here in Thailand and is paying taxes on their income in the United States, they cannot be taxed on it again in Thailand. And you can hear, yeah, but this, but that. That's the bottom line. Are there some gray areas that need to be worked out? Yes, and they're very, they're very particular gray areas. But is somebody who's retiring going to have to pay taxes on their income twice? No. Do you really think Thailand is going to do that and lose all the retirees from Thailand to a neighboring country such as Cambodia, maybe Vietnam, or even the Philippines? No. So do look up the tax treaty, and I'll give you guys an update when the new year hits, because if there's anything I would need to do, I will obviously have to go through it, and I will fill you guys in. So again, I know we've gone severely off topic, but I figured we can't talk about all the reasons why we would do this all over again for the entire video. But anyway, I hope that this video has been helpful. And if you have found value in any of the videos that will help you make a decision, we would be honored if you would subscribe to the channel and like it. And if you feel so inclined, if you feel like you want to contribute to the channel, that this information was worth a couple bucks, go to Buy Me a Coffee. We'd sure appreciate a donation to the channel there. And we are going to end this video. I'm going to end this video by saying thank you in Thai, which is Khap Khun Khap.